Chai FM, 101.9 megahertz of life.
I don't want to get aggressive about it, guys. I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be aggressive, which is why we've called in people that are perhaps a little bit nicer and more convincing than me. Because if it were up to me, I'd make it illegal. I'd make it illegal not to vote. I would bash anybody who doesn't. But apparently that's not an option. So we're going to go the other route. And I wanted to talk about registration, about what is coming up in November and why it is so important. And I keep replaying that conversation we had with Helen Ziller, where one of our listeners said, my wife and I are traveling at the end of October. Is there a way to vote early? And she said, no, there isn't. Delay your trip by a week. Just delay your trip. It's that important. So we do want to get you involved with that. And with that, I welcome to studio Wendy Kahn, National Director of the South African Jewish Board of Deputies, as well as Gabriella Farber Cohen, Political and Youth Liaison for the South African Jewish Board of Deputies. Wendy, let's start with you. A very good morning. Hope you are well.
I cannot tell you what a good morning it is. I've had
Really?
the most extraordinary weekend.
Good.
I am on a high. We don't
Yes.
I normally am one of those that hates Mondays. But I'm just really so uplifted by seeing our community walking the streets of the inner city of Johannesburg yesterday.
What did it look like, the inner city?
It was absolutely extraordinary. It's been upgraded, it was clean, there are new shops, interesting shops. In fact, it was very hard for me to just keep walking.
But
yes,
also, because apparently that's where you get the deals, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I'm
hearing. And then you're walking past places that you and I will remember. She won't remember them, but you and I will remember.
Because you're a child, Gabi, yes.
The Carlton Centre.
Of course, we used to go ice skating.
Yeah, I mean, we walked past one building and my husband said, oh my God, that's where I got my bar mitzvah suit. I mean, those
I know where it was. That must have been
you got
Dean's.
The same one.
Dean's at the Carlton Centre.
But it really was so good being back.
Yeah.
And it was so good with over 100 members of our community from 3 years old to 83 years old, wearing T-shirts saying Jews for Josie. We're schlepping through the city.
Lovely.
And
really
honestly, I think we need to find more and more spaces that we can leave Glen Hazel and we can go out there, be proud. How
And
many
reclaim.
cities in the world can you walk around on a walk like this with kippot on heads, with a Jews for Josie T-shirt, big Magen David, exactly.
So it's interesting because we always say this, that we don't feel, we just don't feel the anti-Semitism. Yes, it happens. Yes, there are incidents, but we simply don't feel it the way, thank God, other countries are feeling.
Well, we monitor the anti-Semitism and respond where required.
Yes.
And I'm just going to give you a fascinating statistic because we have on average 65 incidents a year compared to the thousands in other communities. But June, guess how many incidents we had? Flyer?
5. Nothing.
We
0.
did not have an incident in June 2026. It's fascinating.
It really is fascinating.
And that's a story.
That's the true reflection of South Africa. I believe it. I have always believed it. It's incredible.
I think yesterday we saw what could be. We saw a Johannesburg that can be. We saw a clean Johannesburg. We saw a protected
the
Johannesburg.
train.
We saw trains.
It was better than the Tachanamur Gazette, let me tell you.
So where did you take the train to?
You went from Rosebank to Ellis Park.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. Much better than the Jerusalem one.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Clean, working, security guards. And you just are like, this is our city. And this is the city that we need to be voting for. Right.
And it's so perfect, actually, to have had this experience that you guys had yesterday and then now talk about the elections and what can be. Because I think there's a danger that we vote negatively.
Yeah,
We vote because we have to vote,
Exactly.
and because we're scared of what the alternative is. But actually, maybe we need to turn that around and say, let's vote for what can be, not what we're scared of.
Yeah, and just to carry on that, it wasn't just the beautiful Gautrain that we went on. We got off in Park Station and we walked through Park Station and we got into the Metro
I've
Rail.
not been to Park Station
For
a very long time.
I
Maybe camp was the
was
last
very
time.
impressed.
Yeah.
And we got on the Metro Rail and we got to Ellis Park. And I just think, again, as I'm saying, it's aspiration. That's what can happen. I know that it doesn't happen. And for the majority of South Africans living in our city, that doesn't happen. That's not the reality. The train infrastructure is appalling and the transport is appalling. And let's be honest with ourselves.
But that's okay.
Yesterday we
that's
saw
the reality
what
now.
is possible, what it can do, what Johannesburg can be. And I think that's what's so critical about this election. We have an opportunity to extend what happened yesterday throughout our city and for the next 5 years. And if we don't take that opportunity, we have only ourselves to blame.
So, Gabi, if I can just ask you, you're involved, obviously politically, but you're also the youth liaison. What are you seeing from our youth? Because in truth, that's maybe where I feel the most concerned.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
I think there's quite a lot of apathy. Very much, again, staying in our ghettos and just caring about my day-to-day life. But what this election actually is important about is that it's the services that are directly affecting you. It's your water, it's your sanitation, your pick it up, it's your electricity, it's your transportation, it's your potholes and roads. So you can't have that excuse anymore of, oh, what difference does my vote make? What difference does I'm not voting in this election? I only do national elections. This is the election to vote in.
Of course.
This is
what
the
impacts.
election that impacts your everyday life. So as apathetic as you want to be, if you're not going to vote, you don't have the right to complain when you go over a pothole or when you see dirty streets or when you don't have water.
But are you seeing high numbers? I mean, not high numbers, but are you seeing apathy as a concern?
I would say from my age group, a young adult age group, you are. But I would say a soldier's age group, a university age group, that you're not at all. And that's
maybe
the
because
beauty.
they are maybe more politically active.
Completely.
They're more in that frame of mind.
I work very closely with soldiers and, I was in soldiers during my time in the ANC, and to try and get people to political events was such a struggle. I mean, just on Friday night, we held a dinner at Zev Krengel's house with student leaders from the ANC, the EFF, SASCO. There was one DASO person. And we've been hosting these Friday night dinners every year for maybe 5-6 years. And every year, for the first 3 years, that's like my age group, was a struggle to get soldiers people there. Like, we used to have to beg and plead. And here, this Friday night, all the soldiers with students came. All the soldiers tax students came. They were there in their numbers, and it's a very different generation.
It means they're feeling more empowered. It means they feel that actually they can make a difference. It's more like Wendy and my generation, where we knew we actually had to be involved in order to make a change. You're almost seeing that as a circle, but it's the young adults that we might see some apathy with. Maybe people with young families that are just.
It's too chaotic.
Exactly.
And I think it's so important because it's the young families, and you need to think. I mean, as Zionistic as I am, I want my daughter to live here.
Well, we live here. We live in a beautiful country, and it's ours as much as anyone else's.
Even if you have to say, I want to make Aliyah in the future, fine. But the next 5 years, you're here.
Right.
The next few months, you're here. And this is the election that is going to impact your everyday life.
It is, yeah. So how do we get? Well, when if I can ask you, like, what if you look at the overview, and I keep going back to that Helen Ziller conversation, because I think it changed it for me, because it went from, I'm unfortunately going to be away, to her saying, no, change your trip. Just delay it a week. It's that important.
This
important.
is a defining election.
How do we change that narrative?
We come to Chai FM.
Yeah, and we talk to people.
And we talk, but I think the point here, and Gabi's spoken about the young members of our community. I think we need to use absolutely every opportunity, wherever we are, whoever. I mean, I was so disappointed yesterday there wasn't a registration table. Every single person, those 25,000 people who walked, every single one of them, as they exited the stadium, there should have been IEC officials there, asking people to register and sign up. I think we need to use absolutely every opportunity, whether it is Rabbonim at the pulpit, whether it is school teachers, whether it is whoever it is, at your Shabbat table, your book club, your bridge game, wherever it is.
Be that person.
Be that obnoxious. Use your road groups. There has never been a more relevant time to upset everybody in your environment.
We can use words like that.
Sorry,
because that's the truth.
That's how serious it is. And it's not just good enough for you to register. You need to make sure all your nearest and dearest and everybody has registered. Now, just one more thing I want to say is it's not just about new registrations. You need to check your registration because the borders change. And I, as an election monitor over the last 20 years, I have seen people stand in queues for 2-3 hours. And they get to the front and they say, sorry, you're in the wrong place. You're supposed to be at the election centre down the road.
I must actually check that, because I checked that I'm registered, but I didn't actually think to check
because they're going to have to cross you off on the list.
Yes,
and then what happens
so I must look at that again. 9
times out of 10 people say, I've already stood for 3 hours in the queue. I'm not going to go to the next. First of all, if there is a problem, go to the next place.
Course.
You've got a public holiday.
Yeah.
Go get yourself a cappuccino and stand in the queue.
Absolutely.
And secondly, you can prevent all of that 2 seconds by going
so
on
how do
your
we
cell
do
phone.
that?
This is Miss Technology.
Okay,
so
Miss
I will
Technology.
hand
I went
over.
and checked my registration last night. It's seconds. It's, when they were doing all these big posters of voter registration weekends, Wendy and I were like, what's the point? Because you do it on your phone, it takes a few seconds.
I know.
So all you need to do is SMS your ID number to 3281.
Wait, I'm doing this live. I am doing this live. No, because then at least I can tell our listeners that it Mukundi, okay, I'll do it here. Okay, fine. So let's go. I'm sending what is the phone number?
3281.
3281, okay. And my message is simply my ID
Your
number.
ID number. Then I will be honest, bless the IEC, sometimes that hasn't worked.
Right.
There have been moments where we've put on social media and then people phone it's not working. Other option, so I did the other option because I was like, I'm not wasting time. Because, I've just got such a busy life.
Yes, there's no time for this, yes.
I went on the IEC website and I pressed I am a voter.
Right.
It then sent me to a link to say, it showed me my details, it showed me I'm registered. But then I saw that we were renting a place in Fairmount. And it was my address of Fairmount. So I then went and I changed it. It says, change your address. I changed my address to our new address. It was done and dusted like that. I changed my address. It showed me where I'm voting. It showed me my ward councillor, who is Danielle Shea, who's just unbelievable. And And it's just, and it's amazing.
So, and when can we register until?
So this weekend is
it?
the last weekend to register, and they're probably going to close next week.
Okay,
so you
we
have
just
2 weeks,
go and do that.
Every Boba that is listening, every Zayda, every aunt, uncle, sister, mom, parent, what is amazing this year is that the election is in November. So all our matrics will be able to vote.
And they'll be here still.
They will be here.
Fantastic.
And usually, if it's November, then if it's earlier in the year, it's only like half the class that's able to vote. We have a whole new generation of new voters. Make sure they vote, whether it be bribery and corruption and taking them out for coffee, to go and get them to register. Register your matrics. I think register, make sure everyone's
100%.
registered. You're in South Africa. Also, something that a question asked, what if I live overseas, can I vote? Unfortunately,
No.
you can't.
So that's what we were saying.
And that's what I'm saying of now every single one of us has to make sure our vote counts.
So just to let you know, that SMS number is 32810. That is what all you need to do is try SMS it, see it'll work, and but there are other ways I see. Otherwise, just contact us. We'll help you. 061 895 1019. We will take you through it. Final thought from you, Wendy, before we wrap.
And not just you. You register and make sure that you reach out to 20 people that you know, 20 people in your sphere, and make sure that they are all registered.
And that is where we leave it. We're going to keep nagging you about this.